Still 24 April 2023. People got nervous suddenly. Why? Because we are blasting the organized crime and the terror groups with the privilege as a straight information at the Security Forum using the Foreigners Affairs USA and Europe. It's a liberal argument. The fusification of data annoyed, we all threatened, we all covered criminals having institutional and state power. We posted the report on 2023 April 24, which is today, and the satisfaction of credit and interest. Interest, considering in the next day as April 25, the paycheck, which has the condition the anti-crime budget, then we will have the organized crime and the mafia as interest, and the terror as interest, and the institution and state power as level of decision, macro, complex, as interest, and also the security system, international, which implies the Nato and the Security Forum Brazil USA, having we all the interest, but the interest, for instance, at coverage, at this paycheck, is strictly and totally legal, must be one, recognized by law, two, confirmed by the court or the judicial power having the case. Indeed, the deep web scam was caught in Brazil by the integrated level as corruption on public departments clustered all on budget, having the fake data at least since 1988. This information globally flows through the international financial system, affecting my expectation as consumer. When you fake my items and put at the store or the e-commerce website, destroy things at the postal system, even transferring the obligation to persecute this at the US postal system if I did a purchase in Brazil to receive something from America and I receive something destroyed. In general, this deep web scam is made by cowards that do a lot of mistakes and try to blame anyone else as individual, entities, institutions, states, or whatever. Considering that can change the history of mankind, the facts, the science, the premises, and one of the most essential ethical premises on justice is that you can't be blamed by something that you didn't committed as a mistake. On 25 April, we are representing the legitimacy of this all legal credit under constitutional conformance not only in Brazil. We are carrying the interest as stability and domestic tranquility. In USA, by the turbulence made at the Brazilian public departments, at the Security Forum, that you are unable to offer something reliable. Your influence is worthless, just like the words coming from areas filled by criminals acting as criminal purpose and with crime as the main purpose of all action, essentially proved at the blind eye that integrated you all and got boosted and highlighted at the solidarity against this paycheck, confirmed criminal system, and under constitutional conformity offered self-defense purpose. I suffered the aggression at first, and the environment I live as private living, and the privacy of my thoughts affected, threatened by intimidation and suppression, hurt others' interests, but this time recognized and confirmed, like the antitrust justice, for instance, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Nato maybe, the Bank of Japan, and others, based on industrial projects and portfolio, database Sigma. If we had only one source, as big data compiled from the micro level as information, failure like observed in Brazil from public departments, the entire conjuncture, and the economic blogs related with, by this attribute, and having only this source of information, the make decision procedure will be troubled from global until local. The pandemic COVID-19 proved this. You have problems to do the transparency, the accountability, and I didn't. At the US judicial power, the UK judicial power, the International Criminal Court, any of you had open data? No. So I'm the unique creditor by this. It's only me with the legitimacy to act and operate things I'm doing, representing the interests that probably will be separated and segmented to be out of the rain. And use this portfolio as a plea bargain. The negotiation that you use criminal groups, terror groups, listing the authorities, having you as partnership. And this is a Pareto condition, is an exclusive choice. You will obtain the privilege, have the name, but one more time you must be advised that, let's suppose, if the Federal Bureau of Investigation sets the criminal scam with criminal purpose, but doesn't have the crime as purpose, they know the authorities at the crime. You know, your information, tick-tack, has a period to be delivered or will be worthless. And the blast of privilege, like that book told, if you didn't help yourself, God can help you. See? And the prevention of fake data. Because, my dear filthy animal, taking lies for the entire global system. This was everything we had at that show business. Phase 3, the bondage, dominance, suppression, and torture. You must have this on mind. We will observe that different areas in general go like this: A and B. The middle is A and B, but not A as integrity, not B as integrity, fusification as AB, which implies a new interest named C. And now we could unveil this interest here, A, B, and C. As pattern of variance, the promiscuity of things will set a new interest here, which not A, not B, not C, but can be leaded to corrupt all. And indeed, this is the D as new interest. This pattern going on and on and on will have the fragmentation of all things. It going at your culture, it's cultural destruction. Without the difference, has no difference. And when we got this at the very first thing, because all these are going hidden, crypto, current, and interchange things, Indeed, this level here will be kind of a bit bigger until engulf both by corruption. Since you did this with only one as Brazil judicial rule number one, by equity, all others we do. Brazil criminal system. Who is the main driver of your conjunctural architecture as criminality with crime as purpose, going and flowing at the Brazilian institution? This information must be presented to the American judicial power, the European system as judicial power having the case, the International Criminal Court. In America, not proper information is obstruction of justice, at least, with regression from institution until the chair. That is the top chair with the obligation, according with the international guarantee at the Brazilian Constitution, to present this information. And this is one of the things you defaulted all the time, since at least 2014. Your lack of capacity annoyed we all, especially me, because my credit is until this time not satisfied, but will be totally covered because it has preference by law and I'm the victim according with the law. We are claiming this considering the communication. If you have my filthy animal hidden at the Brazilian institution that lies all the time, the distortion of something at your records at your institution, and this affects, for instance, the records at your conjuncture, and affects, for instance, the record of the blocks that your conjuncture belongs, and the entire global system. All those things integrated by failure, considering this very first process as communication, has the communication as one of the physiological of all things. Sourced here by mistakes, the mistakes kept all the time, affecting by equity or others do the financial system international, the international economy, the international health system. You, my dear criminal offender in Brazil, hidden in institution, had total condition to recognize all this and give this information about the financial system, the global economy as values, the health system as World Health Organization, and also the World Trade Organization, and also the exploitation as International Labor Organization. Let's suppose that all this is inside the Security Forum of the United Nations. Are you part of the United Nations, Brazil? So you are kind of under the regulation of the United Nations. Have a great night, big liars.